G'day folks, and welcome to this playthrough of Rome Inc. This is a design by Philip Jelley. It was published in Against the Odds magazine. I do have it around somewhere. It's just over to my left. It's a solitaire simulation of the Roman Empire. There are 4 different scenarios. What you see here is the setup for the 27 BCE scenario. There's also a 70 CE scenario, a 138 CE scenario, and a 222 CE scenario. And you can play all 4 scenarios back to back for a sort of a full campaign. Now, full disclosure, I haven't played this yet. This will be a learning experience. So it's a fairly procedural game. So there may be rules errors here, heads up. But what I'm trying to do here is give a sense of how the game flows, what it's like to play. Only recently picked this up and punched and clipped and set up and yeah, ready to go. You can see the sequence of play here. I'll basically be working through there. Yeah, pretty much. We'll get rolling and see what it's like. So the first thing we do in the sequence of play is the events phase. We move event counters from previous turn. We place 1 extra conquest, persecution, terror, or usurper event if Caesar has this special ability. And you may be able to see way down the corner here, Augustus has that conquest ability. So we place 1 extra conquest event. An extra conquest event in the event phase. So we place an event counter in the event conquest box. So these are event counters, and the conquest box is in the conquest event box. There's an event chart. This is a statesman box, war box up here. First hiccup, where is the event box? Maybe there isn't a box, maybe just put it somewhere here. All right, so we'll put it there for now. The sequence of play is also printed on the top left of the map, so that's pretty cool. I can rely on that and then work through the specifics. I then determine 1d6 events with an extra event for each statement with the event special ability. Okay, so 1d6, I have my dice up here, ready to go. 1d6 events, 1. Okay, make a 1d6 and a number of additional events to be resolved at random on the event chart. Okay, so now to determine the one event, I roll 1d6 using a white die, so 3, and 1d3 using this, 33. Now you can see up the top here we have the event chart. We have inflation. We remove half the gold from the Treasury, rounded up. Half the gold from the Treasury. Well, I have, oh my God, I have 100 gold in the Treasury, so I'm down to 50. Inflation. Why is this in blue? I've just been printing some new counter trays. If it already has an event counter, so we put an event counter, I think, on inflation. When an event counter is placed in an event box, resolve the black text. Okay, and then of course, here we go, the event box. We had another conquest event. We annex a province. So we had inflation, +1 to each tax 2d6. I'll need to remember that when we go through taxation. And we can annex a province, section 10.2. So this is where the rulebook is very consultative. Yeah, Philip explains that, yeah, you can pretty much just get going and consult things as they come up. So to annex a province, I may annex barbarian, allied, and veteran allied provinces, and even annex the same province several times in the same turn. I increase prestige by 1 each time a province is annexed. And these are basically all the provinces throughout the map. When I conquest, I annex a province in the event phase. Provinces may not be annexed. Okay, so it explains when I annex a province, 10.2. It doesn't say what I actually do. Here we go. An annexed barbarian province becomes allied. An annexed allied province becomes veteran allied. And an annexed veteran allied province becomes insurgent. Okay, so what do I want? I don't really know. I probably want, I imagine, to get rid of some of these barbarians. But where? Look, I've got Thracia right in the centre here is a barbarian province. So I probably want to reduce or quell the issues there. So I'm going to annex Thracia and turn it into an allied province. I think I like that idea. It's really the only province. I do have some insurgents here, but it's the only barbarian province behind the frontier. So I've annexed Thracia. It was barbarian with the sword. It now becomes an allied province. And these provinces are Roman provinces. Anything without that, so I've got Roman provinces, we've got insurgent provinces, which I believe are almost Roman. Then we've got allied, veteran allied, and barbarians along the frontier. And barbarian armies will come in from these home regions. Okay, that was a pretty quick event phase. Event roll, I should say. I now need to make a mortality roll for each leader. Caesar, statesman, and rebel. Okay, so I've got my Caesar. He narrowly survives. Do I add anything to his mortality roll? 5.2. No, I don't think so. Okay, I've also got my consul down here. This is Agrippa. Do I make a roll for him as consul? Each leader, statesman, I believe I do. All right, so he survives narrowly. And there are no, there is a leader. There's a leader up here. No, it's not a leader, it's an army. It's a barbarian army. Okay. Hey, Todd, welcome. Happy New Year. I'm working my way through Rome Inc., learning as I go. Okay, so now I make an assassination if the Julian Emperor's is in the Emperor's box. I can tell you the Emperor's box way down the bottom here is empty, so I don't have to worry about any assassination attempts. Now I make a support roll for the rebels, rolling 2d6. It's a 9. Okay, so actually there are there rebels? No, there are barbarians, but they're not rebels. That's correct, I think. Yeah, there are no rebels yet, so I don't need to make a rebel roll. So now I can head to the Treasury phase, and I make a tax roll, and because of inflation, I add 1 to, that was the event I had up here, I add 1 to the tax 2d6. Here we go. Oh, it's not your New Year yet. You're a couple of hours behind us. You're about to have your New Year, I think. What are you, a couple of hours? 10 hours? Yeah. Taxing is 8. Okay, so I've 2d6, roll of 8 plus 1 is a 9. Checking the rules on taxation. Pay, where's tax? Okay, use gold counters, blah, blah, blah. The number of gold icons in a loyal Roman province. shows how much gold it pays in taxes, things like this. Homeland, barbarian, allied, veteran allied, insurgent, and rebel provinces pay no taxes. Okay, I'll make a 2d6 roll for each governor. Oh, okay, so for each governor, these are the governors down here of the provinces, and I subtract their administrative ability, which is shown in the top right, and that of Caesar. If less than or equal to 0, double the gold the provinces pay in taxes. Okay. So I think you make a roll. This is not how much taxes they get. I think you're just trying to get a low roll to hope to get less than or equal to 0 to double the taxes. So basically what we do is in Britannia, I have one allied province, but allied provinces don't pay taxes. It has to be Roman. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 Roman provinces. Sorry, 14 gold from the Roman provinces in Gallia. That doesn't include insurgent, allied, veteran, allied, barbarian. So 14 gold, which I would collect in taxes. My roll is not less than or equal to 0, so I collect 14 gold from that province. So 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope I've done it correctly. I am not counting. You basically only count loyal Roman provinces. Okay, that's loyal. It says armies there, but it's loyal. There's armies there, it's loyal. There's an allied, so they don't pay taxes. Veteran allied, they don't pay taxes. Yep. And we look at, of course, I should be consulting the Gallia governor here, who has a administrative rating of 2, and Caesar, Caesar has a rating of 7, so 5, sorry. So 5 plus 2 is 7. 9 minus 7 is still greater than 0. So yeah, no change to the taxes there. Okay, so I should probably go in order here so I don't miss anything. I've done Gallia, let's do Britannia. There's nothing in Britannia to tax because it's only allied. Italia, I have got 30. I think everything's loyal here. Oh no, minus the Alps. So let's just double check. 4, 8, 12, 15, 20, 24, 28. Yep, 30 minus 2 is 28. So I have 28 income here. Minus 7 plus 1. So it'd be minus 6. Oh, very close, but not double. So I gain tax of 28 here. Next, Pannonia in the center here. 14. I don't have any loyal Roman provinces here. They're either allied or insurgent, so no taxes from Pannonia. We then move to Moesia over here, and I have 2, 3 for a total of 12 possible taxes. The governor here only has a rating of 1, so it's a -5 to my roll, and it's a failure as well. But I still collect the 12 taxes. So 10, 11, 12. And I've already surpassed what I was before inflation, so that's okay. All right, from Moesia we go to Hispania over on the left here. And 2 insurgent provinces, a barbarian province, 2 loyal. Where's my governor? My governor has a administrative rating of 2. Plus 5 for Caesar, minus 1 for inflation is a -6. So the mod for the roll is still not less than or equal to 0. So we collect our 9 taxes. Now I've got to think about this counter. Okay, I can go like that. There's a space over here to go to 110, 113 now. All right, Africa down here, allied, 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 don't collect taxes. We have Africa and Libya, collecting a total of 8. The governor here has a rating of 2, so it's a -6. Hey, we finally get double. So 5 plus 3 is 8, doubled to 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Getting a lot of money here. Egyptus, way down the bottom here of the board. What have we got? Loyal. We have 1, 2, 3 insurgent and a barbarian. So we've just got these two. And a good governor for a net -7 roll. And we roll a 10, so we get our 5 coins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we head to Syria in the red up here, where we have a couple of loyal here, a couple of 4 loyal provinces. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and the rest are either allied or barbarian. So 13 minus 6, it's a good roll, it's doubled, is 26. Okay. I'm doing pretty well here. And lastly, Pontica, way up in the north up here. What have I got? I've got 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just these 3. 12 and a good governor. Yes, 12, doubled, 24. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have got now 174 gold. If I can bring you back here to the Treasury. Looking pretty good. So what I've got here is my money. I have got my upkeep of armies. I have got my prestige, unrest, and it's turn 1. That's what we're looking at here. All right, that is part of the Treasury phase. Now I have to pay units in loyal, insurgent, and Roman provinces. Now the game tells me that my starting upkeep is, as part of setup, we are told, this is a scenario I'm doing, and I'm told that upkeep is, pay rather, is 79. Okay, so I know I have to deduct 79 now from my income. I have treasury of 174 minus 79 should be 95, if my maths is correct. That's still pretty good. After upkeep, I still have a lot of money in the treasury. Yeah. All right. Now we move wars. Well, how do we move the wars? Let's check this out. Moving wars. We're still in the treasury phase. So we do movement. And this is the movement section here, 9.4. So we move all wars in play. There's only one war in play, and it's out here. This is part of setup. The Cantabrian War over here in Galicia. We move them by 1 in any order. Now there is a priority box. They won't, I believe, they will prioritize movement via roads. Just double checking, we pay units, we move wars, then we draw counters from the war box next. I think I'm doing that correctly. So, movement. Allied provinces have priority over homeland. Move all wars in play by 1 box. Wars may not move into provinces they've already occupied. Each province may only have 1 war and 1 leader. Immediately move a war if another moves into its province. So, do I just choose where to move this war? The barbarians kind of advance and they'll fight a war down here. A war, okay, here we go. A war automatically moves if it starts in a homeland or barbarian province. So it automatically moves. If it starts in or enters an insurgent province, make a pillage roll on a pillage chart to see if it moves. Okay. So I need to make a roll on I need to find the pillage chart and make a 1d6 roll. So it starts in a barbarian province, it's moving. If it enters, or if it starts in or enters an veteran allied insurgent province or Roman province, make a pillage roll. A roll of 2 means it doesn't move. But we add leader's ability. There's no leader here. There's no migration event. It is an insurgent province, so +1. So 3. -1 for each Imperial Cavalry, Praetorian Guard, Legion, and Auxilia in an insurgent or Roman province. So it'll be -6 there. Okay, so they effectively stop it. They added such a huge modifier to that dice roll that they stop the war moving any further. And that's the only war in play on this first turn. So nothing further happens to movement on this turn. In terms of priorities of movement, I don't know what has priority. I'm guessing I pick. Yeah, okay, so provinces have priority over homeland and barbarian, so they want to move to the provinces as opposed to moving backwards. And roads, as I've done here, these roads have priority over deserts, mountains. These are mountains here. These are straits, and these are sea, and there's some desert down here. Yeah. I think I've done that correctly. All right, now we move to the wars box. After removing all wars in play, we draw 1d3 new wars from the wars box, which is up here. So 1d3 is going to be 1 good rolling so far. 1 new war, and it's the Nubian War, which is going to come on. It's going to be hard to capture this on the camera. Way down here in the very bottom right. So that appears in their home province down here. Draw 1 extra counter in this scenario. That's not good. The Parthian War. Okay. These guys have a naval ability as well. And it's quite a strong war, 14. So you can see here, naval strength, if they have a navy, and a naval strength, and the strength of the war. I can tell you this is a very strong war, 14. For contrast, the Nubian War has a strength of 6, and this Cantabrian War has a strength of 8. So it's a very strong Parthian War. Fortunately, I guess, there's some barbarian units here. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of legions out here in Syria. I've got 2 legions, 2 auxiliaries. As each war is drawn, place it in its homeland province and immediately move it. Okay, so I've got to move these guys straight away. So the Nubian War, they have to move via sea to Ethiopia. Yep. Immediately move a war. Oh no, sorry. It moves automatically if it starts in or enters a barbarian province. This is a barbarian province, so it moves automatically, and it's going to enter an insurgent province. So it's going to make another roll on the pillage chart. And here we go. A roll of 4. +1 because it's insurgent. -1 because there's an auxiliary there, which makes it a 4. So if the roll is 4 or more, it moves, but stops if it enters another allied veteran insurgent province. Okay, so it's going to stop there. So they've advanced, they pillaged, and kept moving. That's about it, basically. They just keep moving. And now the Parthians up here, waging their war. They advance. They will prioritise. What are they prioritising? Straits or the mountains? Roads have priorities over deserts. Wars with a naval strength of 1, which they do have there, may not move by sea. All right, well, that's a strait. So they all either prioritise, and I think I get to choose again. I guess I'll move here because I want to get to Roman territory. This barbarian province, so they'll move again. And they arrive here in this veteran allied Roman province. Once they get to here, they will attempt to pillage. They roll a d6. It's a good roll. So they'll continue prioritising the road to move to here. Once they get to here, they must stop. So after a successful pillage roll, they must stop if they enter another Roman province, which they've just done. So technically, Roman or allied or veteran allied or the like. So they've come all the way along here, the Parthians. It's a big Parthian army, and they've entered Syria. Okay, bit scary. All right, we now move to the, if we get to look at the sequence of play, we move to the Unrest phase. So we've done this Unrest phase. +1, increase Unrest at the start of this phase. It's +1 Unrest for each rebel and war. +1 Unrest for each rebel and war. Well, there are 3 wars, so I think we increase the Unrest. Add 1 Unrest for each war in play. So 1, 2, 3. We simply move the Unrest counter up. And leader in a homeland. Each rebel in war and each leader. There's no leaders in play just yet. They look very similar to these counters, but they'll have a leader on them basically, and a leader's name. Praetorian icon in Rome in excess of its icon. No, we're fine there. We have fewer Praetorian guards than are allowed in Rome, so that's fine. Fleet icon in a Roman or insurgent province with no fleet. All right, so Neapolis requires a fleet. It has a fleet. This is a hard one to keep track of. The fleet icons are pretty easy to see, but they're all over the place. So we've got Alexandria requires a fleet, has a fleet. Syria requires a fleet and has no fleet. So I think it's a Roman province that has a fleet icon and there's no fleet there. So we increase Unrest by 1. So 2, Pannonia Inferior has a fleet icon but no fleet. Oh, but it's not insurgent. It's not a Roman province, it's an allied province, so that's fine. And there's a fleet icon here with a fleet, so we're covered there. I think we're okay. Yeah, those fleet icons are pretty easy to see. As I said, they're just all over the place. I think we're covered where we need to be. And a grain icon in a, wow. Okay, so increase the Unrest for a grain icon in a barbarian, insurgent, or rebel province. I don't understand that one. Add 1 Unrest for each rebel, barbarian, and insurgent province with a grain icon. Rebel, barbarian, and insurgent province with a grain icon. Grain here is fine, it's Roman. Grain here is Roman. Grain here, the grain icon down here in Arcadia is insurgent, so we add an Unrest for that. Where else is the grain? Where's the grain coming from? Oh, Alexandria also has grain. Oh, there's 2 down here. Insurgent, both grain, 2 more in Unrest. So 10, 11, okay. Any other grain provinces? I think they're all down south there. So I think I've covered them all. Yep, that's fine. Now, at the end of the unrest phase, we make a 3d6 roll on the unrest chart. The unrest chart. I need to check where this unrest... Oh, it might be in the rulebook. Unrest chart, unrest chart. All right, we roll 3 dice basically. We want to roll low, it's a 9. We add unrest, which is 11, so 20. For each Imperial Cavalry or Praetorian Guard in play, we add 1. There's 1, so 21. We're lower than 25, so we're fine. If we rolled higher than 25, and geez, it's pretty close, Caesar would have died. We would have decreased prestige by his administration ability, which is top right, sorry, and we would have increased unrest by his popularity. All right, so that's a dangerous roll to make, the unrest roll. We now okay, annexation. You may annex barbarian, allied, and veteran allied provinces, and even annex if unrest is greater than 25 at the end of any phase, we lose the game. So unrest is pretty high. I've done nothing and unrest is really high. Hey, Fast Hines. Hey, Daniel. Happy New Year to you guys. Your New Year hasn't come. Yeah, I was just talking to Todd about that earlier. Your New Year should be coming in a couple of hours, I think, if I understand time differences correctly. So now, this is the unrest phase, and the annexation rules are covered here. So I can annex a province in the unrest phase. I can annex barbarian, allied, and veteran allied provinces. I increase prestige by 1 every time a province is annexed. How do I do so? So I annexed this province. I can annex a province in the unrest phase. 10.4. How do I do this? It doesn't quite say. Place the Emperor's cannon. Unrest. Annex a province. Let me. The sequence of play is a bit different to the rulebook. So the sequence of play says flip 1d3 random counters. So let's see how many I flip. A good roll, good. I think I want statesman. I flip 3 random statesmen. Here's what I have. We have encountered Galba, Vitellius, and Vespasian. Good, good, good. So these are my statesmen. And I point each statesman to a command box with no insurgent but not as a governor. So basically I point them down here, but not as a governor with no insurgent or Roman provinces. So basically I'm looking at their values here, and this guy has a good administrative value, Vespasian. He's also red, and I've forgotten what that means. I just read it literally a moment ago before I started. Statesmen have their name in purple. He's imperial. I think that can be made Caesar. I think that's what that means. So I want to put these guys basically. They've all got good. I think it's good. 4, 3, 3. It seems pretty decent administrative values, which increases their chance of collecting taxes. Where do I want to collect taxes from? I can't remember where the good areas were. Italia was. I've got my prefect here. I could appoint Vespasian as prefect, which would increase his chances of doubling my taxes from Italia. I like that idea. I think I'll do that. Then I've got guys with good. He's got a good military value. I don't quite know what the military values do yet, but I'm guessing I might put this guy over in Syria. to enhance the military value just a little bit. And Vitellius, where else was I gaining good taxes from? Gallia, I think, slightly increased my, oh, but that reduces the war rating of Gallia. Maybe Moesia. I was getting some, is it a low, the default governor has a low administrative value. Vitellius would increase that by 2. So it goes from 1 default to 3 by putting him as governor. Let me just double check that. Can I put Vespasian as prefect here? Appoint him, but not with no insurgent or Roman provinces. No insurgent. So I couldn't appoint a governor to Britannia because there's no insurgent or Roman provinces. It's an allied province, but it's not insurgent. So I can't appoint somebody here. I think that's the only restriction, the only place where I can't appoint a governor. I could, there's also sort of this war happening down in Egypt. I mentioned Syria, but the default governor down in Egypt has a very, in fact, he has a very poor military rating. So maybe I'm going to shift Galba across to Egyptus. Just a little bit, because he's got a good military rating of 3. And I'm thinking, I don't fully know yet, because I'm working my way through this, but I'm thinking that may help down the track. All right, so I've appointed my statesmen as governors. I've appointed them commanders. Yep. I am annexing a province. Okay, you may annex provinces and even annex the same province several times, increase prestige by 1. So I don't think I increased my prestige when what's my starting prestige? Let me go back to the setup for this scenario. I started on 25 prestige. I should have gone up 1 when I annexed Thracia. Okay, so I can annex barbarian allied veteran province. I've said that many times. I annex a province. I think it's just 1 province in the unrest phase, which is where I am now. So what province do I want to annex? What do I want to annex? I want to reduce my unrest increases. And I do that by, for example, my fleet. So Syria, where was that other fleet marker? I can't annex insurgent provinces. Where was that other fleet marker? It was over here. So if I can annex Pannonia Inferior, I believe that now shifts and annexed allied provinces becomes veteran allied. So I'm shifting that closer towards Roman control. I think that's what I'm doing. Yeah, they become more veteran allied because I get unrest because of this fleet icon with no fleet there. I can either put a fleet here or I can make it, actually, does that matter at all? What about taxes? Do I want to think more about taxes instead? What's a good place to tax? I could think about Britannia Superior. That's a good place to tax. I don't fully know the strategy here, but what I'm thinking is well, I can't tax allied provinces, so I'm looking at the valuable. I'm looking around at all these little the coin symbols and seeing which one is the highest. Thracia again has a 3, which is pretty good. Scanning around. I think maybe Britannia Superior. If I can make Britannia Superior, way up here, if I can make this Roman, so if I make that veteran allied, it's 1 step closer to becoming a Roman province, which is 1 step closer to taxing it and being able to appoint a governor to Britannia. Not a lot of income up here, but something nonetheless. So that's why I've made that decision. So I've annexed that province. I then decrease prestige by 1d6 for each command, with no insurgent or Roman provinces except Britannia in this scenario. Right, so I'm pretty sure we have no command. Commands are basically regions. These are provinces, and these are the commands down here. So is there a command with no insurgent or Roman provinces? No, except for Britannia. Britannia has no insurgent, no Roman. It's exempt from this. Everything else has at least a Roman province, or in the case of Aegyptus, an insurgent province, which means it's fighting, but it's very close to being Roman. Okay, so we don't decrease prestige at all. We increase prestige by the combined administrative abilities of the Caesar and consul. Their administrative abilities combined are 9, so I increase prestige by 9. So I'll go up to 35 prestige. Then I decrease unrest by the combined popularity abilities of the Caesar and consul. I can tell you their popularity abilities are 4 and 4, so I decrease unrest by 8, which is good. I go back down to 3. Now I have to pay for bread and circuses. I may also increase prestige by 1 for each 10 gold paid from the Treasury, but only up to the administrative ability. I am quite tempted to do that, so I'm going to pay 20 gold to reduce unrest by 2. I really want to keep this low. I want to keep Caesar alive. That's a lot of money to spend, but I'm going to keep unrest low. So I can increase prestige by 1 for every 10 gold, or I can decrease unrest by 1 for every 10 gold. So I'm not going to worry about prestige for now. For now, I'm just spending my money on unrest. It's probably a bit early to be spending that kind of money, but I'm already worried about that unrest level and how easy it is to get above 25. Okay, so now I can, that's paying for bread and circuses. Now I can build and transfer units. And this is the final step, second last step before I make an unrest roll, which is going to be scary. So, build and... Now hold on, I've already made that unrest roll, haven't I? Unrest phase. Okay, so I did things a bit out of order. I made the unrest phase very early on. I should have made that at the end of this phase. +1 unrest. Okay, yeah, so my mistake. So it's quite easy to... okay. I did that all out of order. Hurt myself. Panicked myself for no reason whatsoever. Hey, Blue, welcome. Happy New Year over there. So yes, correction there. I made the unrest roll early. It was a lot higher than it should have been, which means I don't really need to spend that 20 gold to reduce unrest. I can do that right before I make that roll. At present it's 3, which is fine. I just need now to build new units. I can build ordinary units from the barrack box. I can tell you there are 2 fleets and a legion plus a heap of auxilia by paying their building costs. Well, I want to build this fleet in Syria, so I'm going to pay 15 gold. 15 gold, pay that from the Treasury. You can see the barracks box down here. I've taken the... Oh, wait, this is not the fleet. These are the... Do I have to put the fleet in the right area? Can I, for example, put the Moesian fleet in Syria? During setup, for example, the Praetorian fleets go in Italy, the Egyptian fleet goes in Italy. I don't have a Syrian fleet, but can I put my Moesian fleet, which is sort of this area here, can I put them in Syria? Or do they have to go... I think they can go there. I can't see anything that says they can't. Fleets in a province in Syria with a sun icon may only transfer to another province in Syria with a sun icon. That's one rule. I don't know why that is. Pontica, fleets may not transfer to a province in Pontica with the sun icon. I can't see anything else sort of restricting my fleets. I'm scanning very quickly, but fleets cost money to build. Yeah, no, it's. I've just shifted the Moesian fleet across to Syria at a cost of 15 gold. And I'd also like to build my, this is the Diocletian 22nd Legion. I'd like to build them. So they're going to cost 10 gold to build, and I'd like to put them in Syria as well, because I'm dealing with this very strong Parthian army. Very strong, and it's rampaged through Syria, right on, well, through this region into the province of Syria here. I'm also tempted to build, some auxilia. I will build 2 auxilia at a cost of 10 gold. I'm paying these costs as I talk about it, and I will build them in a loyal Roman or insurgent province. Yep, so loyal Roman, and I'll place these guys down here. This is an insurgent province. I may even build more. Are all my fleets covered? Where are the fleet boxes? I think that was the only fleet box that I didn't have covered. It's now covered. That reduces unrest by having this fleet here. This isn't Roman yet. I needed a fleet up here. I needed a German fleet. So I will spend 15 gold. I feel like I'm spending a lot of money to build a German fleet from the fleet box, or the barracks box, up into Germania Inferior. Again, that will reduce unrest caused by that requirement. So of course the Romans, it's probably a bit early. They had Saxon pirates later on. I don't know if they had pirates in this era, but they're getting a preemptive Roman fleet. Yeah, it really, there's a good, I mean, the sequence of play, this, it's what Blue's just noting that the game needs Stuka Joe's sequence of play cards. This is good, but doesn't align with sort of the order of the rulebook. So, as I said, the first thing I misread it, to be fair, but it says make an Unrest 3d6 roll at the end of the Unrest phase. It's quite clear. I just was a bit jumping the gun on making that Unrest roll. But it's a good procedural game. I feel like I'm getting the hang of it pretty quickly, sort of playing as I go. What else can I build? What else? I've got more auxiliars in the barracks, and I just don't know how tough these walls are going to be to fight. What I'm going to do is transfer. So I'm going to pay to transfer a legion. That's going to cost me 2 gold to transfer the 12th legion down here. 1, 2 on the Treasury. So now I've got 1 war, 2 wars. I hope I've got enough there to cover that, and the Cantabrian War over here. 3 wars being covered. Let's see how we go. So I've built and transferred units. I can transfer more. I could build walls. Do I want to build a wall? I don't think so, not just yet. Yeah, I think that'll do. So, I've already made my Unrest roll, which is fine. I can now, so I will explain that transfer. So I transfer that legion down. You can transfer units between insurgent and Roman provinces, but not to allied provinces. So it's fine to go from insurgent to insurgent or from insurgent to Rome, but you can't go to here, for example. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Okay, so now we get to the war phase. You can see on the sequence of play, we're up to this point here. I make a D6 roll for every allied, veteran, allied, insurgent, or Roman province. Wow, there's going to be a lot of die rolling here. And it's a revolt roll. So I'm guessing I need to find... Oh, here we go. We've got a war chart. Revolt chart. Okay. At the start of the war phase, make a roll on this chart for each province and Roman province. Oh, wow. Most provinces will not have the necessary modifiers needed to revolt. So it's worth checking those modifiers first. That's a good game note. If the revolt roll is higher than 6, so you need 7 or more, the province results. A revolting Roman province becomes insurgent and increases unrest by 1. An insurgent province becomes veteran allied. Veteran allied becomes allied, and allied becomes barbarian. If the revolt 1d6, if the revolt 1d6 of an insurgent province not occupied by a war is less than the military ability of the governor, it becomes a Roman province. So that's an important one to keep in mind. So whilst revolt is unlikely, Romanization is likely. So what I'm looking to do is turn these insurgent provinces into Rome. This is the final step to Romanization. Hoping to convert these into Roman provinces, which would be really nice. So let's look at the modifiers here. Make a revolt D6. You need 7 or more. The modifiers are, there's no leaders, so I don't need to worry about that. A war is in the province. So this will add a +3 modifier. There is a barbarian province connected by road, so +6 here. +6. It's insurgent, +7. Okay, look at +7. -1 for each legion and auxilia in the province. 7. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Look at +1. A +1 modifier. All right, so anything but a roll of 6 and I'm safe. All right, and this is for this province here. Anything but a 6. A 1 would be great. A 4 gives me a 5, so I'm safe. It hasn't revolted, but it's also not low enough to become Romanized. A roll of 5. The military ability of the governor in Hispania is 1. So maybe this is something for consideration. Maybe I want to appoint a governor to Hispania with a good military rating, so that if I roll, for example, if this roll was a 3 or less and he has a military rating of 3, that would have become Romanized. It would become a Roman province, which is good for me. All right, this province may still be at risk because they're connected to, well, they're not connected to that war, they're not connected. So we've got no war, no pillageability, a barbarian province connected by road, which is a +3 modifier. It's insurgent, so +4. -6. So looking at a -2 modifier. -2. And I need a... Basically, so now basically 3 or less would turn this Roman. Damn. It's not Roman. But they don't revolt either. All right, these guys up here. We're looking at Gallia now, and the Gallic... I have a good military rating here of 3, so this is a good chance. We're looking at a barbarian province connected by mountains, which adds a +2 modifier. It's insurgent, so +3, -4. So looking at -1 modifier. -1 modifier. Yep. I need a 4 or less. Damn. So close. Aquitania. Okay, good income there. That could have been Roman. Okay. I don't think I need to roll for barbarian provinces, right? No. Roman province here. Oh, wow, this is a long process. I might start to wrap this up because it's going to take me a long time to roll through all these provinces. This is one of the things that you will get used to very quickly. Okay, so what have we got here? There's a war in a province connected by road. So it's a +2 modifier. +2 modifier. Surely there's better modifiers than that. I'm looking at the modifiers here. There's no war in the province. There is a war connected by road. So that's +2. There's no legions or auxilia here. And it's not allied nor veteran allied. I would have thought there'd be more modifiers for being a Roman province. Okay. Okay, that's an 8, which means the province revolt. So I lose a prestige and it becomes insurgent. So I gain that and that. That's really frustrating because that's a very wealthy province. Yeah, wow. I'm surprised by that, that there's no better modifiers. Just because it's next to a war, each war in a province no, maybe I'm missing this wrong. Each war in a province connected by road. This is the modifier I'm looking at here. Each war in a province connected by road. Does that mean, yeah, it means a war connected to this target province connected by road, I think. +3 if the war is in the province, +2 if there's a neighbouring war, whichever is the Cantabrian War here. So that's annoying, that's frustrating. This is going to take me, folks, a long time to work. I'll finish off Hispania. There's 2 more to go. There are no modifiers for this one, so whatever we roll, if we roll a 6, it's fine. And there's no modifiers for the Baleares, so that's fine as well. So I've done Gaul. I will work through the rest of these, but basically I'll do this off camera. I'll wrap this up here. I'll work through all these provinces. The last thing I need to do is make a 3d6 roll on the war chart. And yeah, I'll do that last of all as well. That then brings us to the end of the turn and we move to turn 2 and start all over again. And there are 10 turns in this scenario. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. This is Rome Inc. I'll be continuing this and hope to do some more playthroughs and reports and the like. If it's of interest, it is in Against the Odds magazine, and I can tell you that Rome 2 Inc. or Rome II Inc. is also, it's either in development or about to be published or recently published. So check that out as well.